Okay. Hey, YouTube.com. I'm Jason Ward. This is my little dude, Luke Danger. He wanted to come on with me. He said we should do video. So we're trying it in the YouTube interface today with video because why not? I didn't promote it because I forgot. I don't know. Sometimes I'm just winging this. Pretty interesting last couple of days for Star Wars content and upfront. So being the dad that I am, I let this guy stay up with me. Like last night, what did we watch, Luke? Late last night.
Loki.
We watched Loki. We stayed up until midnight, watched Loki. He's on summer, so why not, right? Getting crazy. Anyways, I think it was the Hollywood Reporter dropped that they're going to be moving the Mandalorian to the same schedule. So basically Tuesday nights at midnight, we'll be able to watch the Mandalorian. So I think that's kind of good. I think that's sensible. In my opinion, that always made more sense. And the reason why it made more sense is because the last year has been different, but when people go to work, you want people talking about your show at work. And when the show comes on Thursday night at midnight, most working people aren't going to watch that. They're not going to see it. And then after that, nobody talks about it because Monday comes and it's a whole weekend to have digested stuff. There's old Penny Rebel sneaking on. Anyways, Penny, you don't have to be shy. Want to say hi, Penny? Want to say hi? No. Okay. So anyways, a part of me digs that because it I think is better for their shows to not to be too corny, but to have like that water cooler vibe. That matters, you know. And their shows are already pretty big, but at the same time, oh no, here's cool lady. Your shirt's dirty. You need to go change that. But you're pretty rock and roll. You are kind of a little punk rocker, aren't you? You're all say, "What's up, nerds?" Anyways, how am I supposed to concentrate? What was I thinking trying to do it this way?
Do that again after he made my nose bleed.
Last night, she clocked him. His nose. Tomato sauce. Little savage. Yeah, it was an accident. They were just messing around and his nose bled. Anyways, that water cooler aspect is going to help the shows grow. Like if you look at the Disney earnings report, we kind of hit that wall with Disney Plus. It wasn't bad, but you know, the people who wanted to make it seem like doom and gloom did, but the service just grew really fast and then started to kind of normalize. And so that's where we are with Disney Plus for the investors. And you had all of those people who came in with the pandemic that just brought in like so many people because you couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't do anything. So what are you going to do? Right, Luke? We watched a lot of Disney Plus over the pandemic, didn't we? We watched Mando a lot. I've seen a lot of Mandalorian. Hey, Luke, since I got you here, who's your favorite Star Wars character?
Darth Vader and Lando.
Darth Vader and Lando?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why Lando?
Because he screams.
He loves that scream in Return of the Jedi. Ah! When he does that. Like he was probably like 2.5 and he saw it. He was just cracking up. And now he's 7 years old and still watches that moment for Billy D scream. Or his yelp. I don't know what you want to call it. But yeah, so Mando's moving. I think that's a good thing. And with this current interface, I don't think I could put the chats up on the screen from youtube.com. But what do you think the age demo will be for Visions? Yeah, I was going to get to Visions right about now. A news story came up on StarWars.com that my homie Chris sent me today early in the morning before I was even awake because he's in Australia or Greece, depending. He's a world traveler. It says, today, Anime Expo announced that Lucasfilm will bring a galaxy far, far away to Anime Expo this July with the panel Star Wars Visions sneak preview. Join the host, Chastity Vicenio, and Lucasfilm executive producers Jackie Lopez, blah blah, bunch of names, and it will be on July 3rd, 2021, 3 p.m. So there's going to be some kind of look at Visions. And when it comes to anime, it's like it could be anything. I mean, as we know, there's a lot of anime. I don't want this guy Googling, that's for sure. Yeah, don't do it. And there's a lot of there's that Pokemon road, and then there's like somebody I was seeing in the past, they showed me this anime called Gantz. Man, Gantz was pretty good. If you haven't seen Gantz, highly recommend that one. Very, very grown up and adult and cynical, but it's hilarious. And anyways, it just makes me wonder about the show. I got a feeling it's going to be really highly stylized. It's going to really lean into the fact that it's anime. I expect it to be somewhat adult looking, but it's still going to be on the Disney Channel, essentially the Disney Plus. So I wouldn't expect it to be anything too wild, That's just my take, obviously. And I'm more concerned or curious, I should say, like, have you heard about Visions, Luke? Maybe nobody else has either, so I should probably. Visions is going to be like this anime-based Star Wars show that's full of like shorts. And I'm not sure like actually what the scope of it's going to be. Is the stuff canon? Is it going to be like one-off little movies? Are we going to get the anime of ice cream maker guy on Bespin? You like him, right? Remember him? This ice cream maker. But that stuff is, yeah, we still got that cold. Me and this guy got our butts kicked. Penny was tough. Penny was tough, but we got sick.
She's a little freaking savage.
Don't call her savage. Anyways, Red 5 says Luke Danger in the house. Say hi. Hi. Anyways, so yeah, Star Wars Visions. I think it's going to be cool though. I like that if they are trying different things, and that's the only way I think that Star Wars could probably grow at this point, because it's so big, is going into like new mediums and trying new things that we haven't seen a lot of that in. We did have those Star Wars manga adaptations, and those were fun, and they were really cool, and it was fun to see the art. At the same time, there's kind of like a limited shelf life on that kind of stuff in a way. Like, okay, you've seen it, you're good, right? So what does that mean for the show? I think the show has a lot more possibilities, because they brought in, oh man, I can't remember his name. Sorry guys, but Lara Grievous. That was done by a big anime director, I believe. And it's one of the best one-off Clone Wars episodes. So that kind of style, that kind of really fast-paced fun, it has a lot of payoff with the Star Wars universe. And so if we get like Lara Grievous quality stories, then I'm totally cool with it. Not super into the idea of it just being a rehash of what does the battle between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader on the Death Star look like in anime. I would want to see it, but does that need to exist? Not really. You like anime, Luke? Not really. You liked a couple of things in anime, I think, overall, though. But are you excited for the idea of Star Wars Visions, or not really? Not too much. So this is the one that
I'm excited for freaking Baby Yoda.
You're excited for Baby Yoda? Yeah, dude. I don't know. Baby Yoda's going to be seen for a little while. Do you think he's going to be in Mando 3? Yeah, because Mando 3 kind of look like it doesn't look like they have to use him. But what'd you see at the Obi-Wan set the other day?
Tatooine.
Saw Tatooine.
No, Tatooine.
And what else did you see? Moisture evaporators? Yeah. It was. We were down there. It wasn't a super exciting sneak peek that time, was it, Luke? But it was still fun. Little hi. My daddy is the best. My daddy is the best. Okay. All right. Okay. Star Wars in game says Lucasfilm has made even the games canon. I imagine everything going forward is canon, no matter the platform medium. That's my hope anyway. Yes, I couldn't agree more. That is like my assumption, and the only reason why I could see that being any kind of thing at all is that they have translators and they have every way of opening up communication clearly. So I would think that communication might be a little bit more of an issue in that way, but probably not. But yeah. So Luke is noticing that Red 5 Strong said Luke Danger in the house, which is also the name of your TV pilot that you shot and then wasn't picked up. You spiraled out of control. You just couldn't take. Don't mess with. Anyways, okay. You want to say hi, Penny? Is that Penny wants to say hi? No, Penny just wants to cause trouble. Well, mischief maker, little Loki. Are you the lady Loki? I love you, mischief maker. It's okay. Okay, so Nolan Ryan also says, "What's up, Luke?" And Luke is noticing that since he's learned how to read, he's a whole new animal. It's changed my life and made it a lot more difficult. I used to be able just to text whatever I wanted about things, and now he says, "What does that mean?"
Yes. Yes.
So okay, guys. Nolan asked, "Did you see the hashtag shows report on Disney Plus Inquisitor series? Their track record is all over the place, but the idea sounds cool. Be upfront. I have not heard a damn thing about an Inquisitor series, and I don't know about the hashtag shows like record deeply, so I don't have like a strong opinion on that. So if they say it's happening, I guess it is. But if you're asking me if I think it's happening, it doesn't seem like it's happening. I don't think so. But Red 5 says, haha, yes, same here. Kids all in the business. Yeah, they are. They were really cool the last couple of days while I did some streams, but today they were like, they wanted to get in on it. So what are you gonna do? Okay, don't tap because I don't know what it sounds like on the mic for these poor people, especially the cats listening on headphones. We might just be blowing their eardrums up. Penny likes that, huh? Yeah.
No.
I feel like Han Solo when all of the Ewoks get on him. Anyways, it was reported Kathleen Kennedy and John Boyega worked everything out, and that the sequel trilogy era and characters will not entirely be abandoned going forward. Have you heard anything on this? The very premise of that is just bullshit. There was like nothing to like hash out or work out. That trilogy finished.
Baby Jason.
I'm not baby Jason.
You're baby Jason.
I'm daddy Jason. Come on.
You're baby Jason.
Come on.
Baby Jason.
I'm an adult man and I drive a car.
You're baby Jason. Daddy Jason, not baby.
Okay. You know how it's okay. My Luke is trying to stick up for me. Yeah. Anyways, all of that stuff is just made up drama to have a reason to have a live stream instead of being interested in Star Wars and covering news. In my opinion, were people critical of things? Yeah, they definitely were. But you know, if you go back and read vintage interviews with Mark Hamill, there was a time when Mark Hamill wanted Luke Skywalker to have a mohawk and an earring because that's what he thought a Jedi was. That was his idea. And when they were in story talks and doing costume things for Return of the Jedi, he was just like, "Oh, what is this?" He wasn't that into it. And you could even kind of see from Star Wars The Jedi, the making of a saga, which is highly staged when you look at most of it. But it's he's like, "Oh, this is like the first movie." You know, you could see he's almost saying this is derivative. And point being, if the internet was around in 83 like how it is today, okay, don't move the mic, baby. It would have sparked the same kind of fake soap opera behind the scenes stuff. It's all made up. And when there are problems, you don't actually like sometimes I would hear when there's problems, like believe it or not, I heard a lot about when Carrie Fisher was making the movie. There were a lot of problems with her being late, not showing up, not reading lines, missing, I don't think should have done the trilogy. I'm glad that she gave us what she gave us, but I don't think she was in a place with her mental health where it was a good idea. And I don't think there's anybody to blame for it. So I don't think that's something that people should do. I just think it's unfortunate. I just don't think it was a good idea looking at how things panned out for her. That said, none of that was reported. None of that was, I don't report on drama when people are alive. She's gone now and it's like history. So it is what it is. But the kind of the kind of stuff that you get with these rumor reports is just it's largely just completely bullshit. So that said, Ben asked, is the hashtag show credible? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I will say this, and this isn't aimed at the hashtag show, and this isn't aimed at anybody in particular. It's just I think common sense kind of advice. If anybody keeps saying a show is coming and it seems like a logical conclusion that it will happen, and there's nothing more to it, there's no unique spin, then it's not going to happen. It's not true. And I don't think there's an Inquisitor show in the works. For what it's worth, I haven't heard anything.
Have known about it.
Hey, don't go saying stuff that I've told you either without.
Chill.
Yeah.
Chill.
She's got the secrets. This is my secret keeper, right? My secret keeper. All right.
Chill.
Thank you.
Stop
Okay.
Me.
Okay. Anyways, you guys are making me really hot because we have the fan and the air conditioner off to do this cast. This is not comfortable. Anyways,
no, it may.
I fan editor says this is adorable. Ciao from Italy. Whoa, somebody from Italy. Say hi. Say hey, Italy. Isn't it amazing that we live in the future and that we could talk to somebody in Italy from California?
But how?
The magic of the internet.
What the?
Hoping to get some of those front teeth in. They're coming, dude. They're coming.
No teeth. They're not
Look at the little Incredible Hulk. So, anyways, yeah, I don't want to disparage anybody. I don't want to say that they're not credible. And there are times when you have a site and it's super thirsty for scoops, it wants to get into the scoop game or it wants to make its name. And what they do is they use just reductive reasoning. And then sometimes people will have scoops later on. And sometimes people are just in the culture and they will get something because a friend of a friend heard something or like, you know what I mean? Like a scoop comes and so it's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But anyways, what I want to talk about really quickly that I don't know if anybody else does is Willow. I got the scoop yesterday that don't turn the mic, baby girl, that Willow is filming and it's coming. The sequel series is filming in Bridgend Wells. So I guess that's a place in Wales. I'm not really familiar with the geography because I haven't been there. But Willow is coming. Remember, I took these guys swimming afterwards yesterday after I put that story up. And I'm like, I just can't believe it, you guys. They're making Willow, and they're just like, yeah, Dad. Are you excited? Are you excited about Willow, or just like whatever? She is. When she puts her hands up like that, that means she's excited. Here, let me see if I could. Can I make this work for you guys a little bit better? Anyways. Yeah. Penny watches the fantasy movies with me. We watch Willow and Neverending Story, and Luke is more of a little action dude. He likes the Marvel movies and the Mandalorian. What's that, Penny?
Yuki plays video games all day on his headset every day.
I got him I got them both Oculus Quest for Christmas, and he likes to mod out Star Wars. And what's it called?
Blade sorcery.
Blade and sorcery. If you have a VR headset and you do the PC VR thing, get Blade and Sorcery and get those Star Wars mods going, because they have it all. It's all there. Okay, so now that we've done this, I can't read the chat. Any idea why Filoni's promotion announcement was so delayed? Was Disney's explanation of it being a mere website update a farce? No, I don't think that's the kind of thing that is like that really that big of a press release kind of thing. The only people I think who were seeing it in that way were people who wanted to pretend like, oh, it's coming, dude. She's coming for Kathleen Kennedy's job. Her days are numbered. And I don't think I think the website, I think he was promoted at some point, and then the website just caught up with that when they did the big website update. So I don't think there was really much to that, honestly. Ben Bamboo says some of my favorite movie faves too. Yeah, I mean, dude, Never Ending Story, man. That one gets heavy. Okay, you can't play around the microphone, guys. That's the one rule we got right now. In a place where there are no rules, it's our one rule. So, anyways, with Willow filming, when I heard about it, I was told that Warwick Davis has been there like every single day. And so he's definitely heavily involved. And it's not like the Willow show, but it's this other series, about other people. And he's barely in it. It's a Willow series. So you want to close that so it stops doing it?
Being crazy.
The wind is being crazy, Penny. That's just what happens. Yeah, right?
He loves her.
Yeah, Ben Bamboo says he can't wait for Willow. And like that's one of those shows or one of the Lucasfilm properties that I think is highly underrated, because when you take the Star Wars format and you move it into the like Lord of the Rings fantasy genre, it should really work really well. Are you mocking me?
Dad?
Yeah. Dale Edmond says, I can't wait for Willow. Yeah. Totally agree. Jason and the Wards need to be a daily show. If I could get this air conditioner quieter, that would be a good idea. Yeah, Never Ending Story is terrifying. And it was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. So it kind of isn't surprising I got into punk rock really quickly thereafter, is it? Because when you think about it, like all that stuff about the nothing, that's pretty deep, man. But it's pretty true. But what do you? Okay, Charlie says, what do you think when do you think we will be getting some new official Star Wars news? Maybe something Sith related.
Maybe.
When it comes to official Star Wars news,
Daddy? So
yeah, it's
Loki, Luke.
Oh, Dale says, I still haven't watched Loki from this morning. How was Loki, Luke? How was Loki?
I do not.
That's a thumbs up.
I like Loki, but then I fell asleep.
Yeah, it was without spoiling it. I thought it was really clever what they did. And it kind of becomes like a little bit like that Mindhunter show mixed with Loki, and then the time travel stuff gets, I think, fun. I like what they did. It feels really, really original. Tyler Brusso says, hello, good sir. Hey, Tyler, how are you, man? I haven't seen Tyler in a long time. I hope you're feeling well. Real Ben says Loki is fantastic. Yeah, I agree. I'm not
I don't know how to read.
Benny doesn't know how to read. You're getting it though. You're getting it. You're sending out all your letters and stuff.
I don't know how to spell.
This guy just learned how to read like a pro over the pandemic. What is that face? I'm glad the Never Ending Story has not been rebooted yet. It is really good, maybe even a masterpiece. Yeah, a while ago, Elijah Wood was supposedly going to be rebooting it. Good yawn, dude. Was going to be rebooting it. And like my whole thing is that first one is good, and the second one is just the one with Jonathan Brandis. That one's just garbage. I remember me and Uncle Cousin Steven. My cousin Steven is like my brother, so we call him Uncle Cousin Steven.
Not Tom.
You don't call him that? Okay.
His name is Poopy Steve.
Poopy Steve? Okay. old Poopy Steve, we got up early in the morning that day when that movie came out and went to see it. And that was one of the times as a kid where I was just like, well, that was nothing. That was terrible. So Joshua says, I'm glad. Okay. And then Star Wars Endgame, The Acolyte, the most anticipated show for me. It would be the first show, anything focusing solely on the dark side, as far as I know of. Yeah, we think so, right? I mean, who knows like how that's gonna play out. Because it could go a lot of different ways with that, you know. It could be like we're gonna have to identify with them. And how do you identify with essentially like you know, a cultist who a murdering cultist? And and it makes it makes me just kind of wonder if it's going to be about more than that. But I'm with you. I'm interested in the fact that it's going to be the most old Republic style, because it's the high Republic era show we've ever had, or that we're going to get to start off with. But I think we're gonna get Yoda in it, because I was hearing at one point when the High Republic stuff was breaking, when I was hearing like the year range, like where it was gonna span from and what it was gonna be based on. I was hearing that Yoda was gonna be involved, and then all of a sudden I hear that it's a TV show, and so I'm not sure if Acolyte became a TV show. No clapping.
Yes, Yoda.
What's that?
Yoda.
You know what? It's like Lou Reed right now. Are you waiting for the man?
Yoda.
Anyways, yeah, that show could be really badass though, and I like the fact that it's not something that we've seen stuff before. Most of the characters we might have only heard about in books, so that's just kind of exciting. I think that's like a really fresh opportunity to build something and for it to take off from there. But I'm in awe over the scope of Cassian. Did not expect it to be as big as it is. And I believe Bespin Bulletin reported that, you know, shooting was extended at one point, and we didn't know if that was because of COVID stuff or if that was because of delays in the production starting initially. But it makes me wonder if they have filmed 2 seasons of that show or something, or if that show is a lot of episodes, that series, because it seems to me that there's a lot going on there. So, yeah, I just want the announced shows to come out. Yeah, me too. Acolyte is still a movie, isn't it? No, Acolyte's a series. I heard of it, the genesis of it. Baby girl, you can't turn this, okay? Little pun. I heard of it as that it was going to be a movie, and then when it was announced, it was a series. So there we go. And I believe the only movies that are actively coming right now are Taika's, which had that like Ben-Hur looking logo. And so what does that mean? Does that mean it's gladiators? Does that mean it's, you know, is it going to be like a, or is it going to be like a Moses in space kind of deal? I don't know. But that poster, okay, that poster really okay. Tyler says hello, good sir, Penny. Are you happy now? Are you okay now? You got it? Is it off your shoulders? But anyway, so okay, so nobody knows what that one's gonna be, right? Or nothing credible has really come out really hard on that one. And then we got Rogue Squadron up first, and then we have Marvel dudes, one with the writer from Loki doing it, and that is encouraging though, because that Loki, the Loki scripts so far are stellar. You think so too, Penny? Penny is literally. You don't even know what that means? It means the written words on the page and the way that they're written and the way it's set up has been good.
I don't know how to read.
Anyways, Tyler comes in and says Bespin said they extended filming because their lease ran out at one filming location. Okay, so maybe that's all that it was. That filmed a lot longer than we expected, but maybe when they're filming with those smaller crews at the start of COVID or during the height of COVID. Maybe that's something to do with it, because
My
They-
feet are floating.
they extended for 6 months. That's a big extension still. When you lose a lease.
What kind of yawn is that?
Cover your mouth when you yawn, you savage. Some of those people might be eating lunch.
Yawn on their food. Don't yawn on their food. Bro, stop yawning on people's food.
So, yeah, and then what was the other? Was there another news bit? I think we actually hit all of the like main news bits of the day. But yeah, anybody else got any other things that they want to hit before we start to wrap this one up today? This one's going a little bit shorter, maybe, because we're always winging it right now. But Corey recently said Mando season 3 had actually wrapped, and then Collider seems to have torn that to shreds. And Pedro says they've not shot anything. They've started shooting anything yet. Well, here's what the way I understand things, and that's that. Like, if you guys remember, I had a report that they had made Naboo starfighters for Mando season 3. Right, pretty cool, right, Luke? And they had made Slave 1, and all of that was all linked together, and then Slave 1 was pretty quickly confirmed on that. And so I know they made stuff for Mando. What I think happened, and this is conjecture on my part, is I think that they kind of got log jammed. I think COVID delays and just things going on log jam those productions. And I think that, okay, stop doing that. I think that they got log jammed. And so I think Mando got pushed back. I think that spaces became sparse. Yes, that's what I mean to say. And so with all of that, I think that Mando's been kind of pushed around. Did they film anything for Mando 3? Maybe. But I don't believe Mando 3 is shot yet. And I got my things that I do, that I know how things go, and I know some of the stuff. Please don't bully me in front of all my internet friends. Please. Mark Hamilton, but that's not Mark Hamill. That's Mark Hamilton.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like Mark Hamilton is the Luke Skywalker that's my Luke Skywalker. When I watched The Last Jedi, that's not my Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamilton is. Okay. Yeah, so I think Mando just got pushed back. Now, if you want an analysis about why that could be good, if you want to see the silver lining and things, what if Grogu's not in this? Don't hit the trackpad, dude. What if Grogu's not in it? Then Mando 3 comes back. No Grogu. Your general person who's just like, you're kind of like, yeah, I like Star Wars because I bought a shirt at Target, sees that. And then is like just super bummed because they just want to see the cute baby Yoda, right? And he's not there.
He's
so
pretty cute.
He is pretty cute, I agree. But by putting it the other way, you are such a little punk, man. Look at this guy. Yeah, I knew he wants to start fighting me.
My daddy.
Listen,
Don't hurt my daddy.
if I'm the Sith Lord, there could be only one apprentice. You guys need to fight each other, not me. Okay. Anyways, so by having people by pushing Mando back, that disappointment might be pushed back, and they might take all of these other shows in, because once Star Wars on TV on Disney Plus gets a bad rap, then they have to contend with that. And maybe it being pushed back is actually good for them, So not pushed back due to drama, but more logistics. That is what I think. And it's really hard for me because I have sources on various things and who are on things and not on to other things. I never want to say too much and have it triangulated and let out who I may know and who I don't know, because that's not in anybody's best interest. But you're fired. You're done. You're fired. Okay, wait. Sit next to me though. You are seriously hot. Like, all right, is that better? Okay, there we go. Okay. So yeah, I don't think it was drama whatsoever. What, you have something to say?
Well, I'm trying to tell you when this is ever gonna hit the button.
Yeah, when it's done, you can hit the button.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was drama based in any way. I think it was just the fact that they're filming at Pinewood, and that's Cassian. And as Bespin Bulletin has shown us, they even had a leasing issue on the space. And then you have Book of Boba filming. I don't think Book of Boba had problems, but I think Book of Boba went longer than they expected as well. And Book of Boba, I'm not sure what the overlap is there with Book of Boba. Okay, you gotta stop just streaming into the thing. Okay, come on, Lukey, Luke. Okay, shh. Gotta say something.
Okay.
Do you think that Mandalorian's gonna be in Book of Boba, Luke? You think so? Or do you think Book of Boba is just a revenge story about him going after all of his settling his old debts, if you will, making people pay up?
No. Stupid.
Yeah. Okay.
That sounds stupid.
Any chance we get Clark and Boba? I'm just wondering what the war and the bounty hunters, or would we have heard? You mean Amelia Clark? Geez, Book of Boba. She would. I guess she could, right? I mean, she would in theory have to play a little bit older of a character, but if she's like a crime lord by then and stuff like that, and then when Maul gets wiped out before A New Hope, like he goes on his own way, as we see. So does she just take over? They said the Book of Boba Fett was essentially Mando 2.5, so possible a lot of crossover, but flashbacks too. See, okay, on the Mando being 2.5 or Book of Boba being to the 2.5 of Mando, I go yeah and no, because it makes sense, and I think that's a logical way of taking it, and I think a lot of that's because of the people involved, but yeah, maybe. The early things I'm not ready to report on Mando season 3 that I'm hearing, I don't see how it lines up at the moment. If what I'm hearing is grounded and correct, not from the back end of that series, which it could be, I don't see how it lines up. So, but it probably is, because and that's essentially why they were able just to make it go over. That also maybe to some degree why certain people said the show was taking a new direction and that Pedro Pascal was mad and all that. I think that show taking a new direction was because some of those crew members were just probably going over to the other production. But War of the Bounty Hunter comic that came out, she's leading Crimson Dawn between the Empire and Jedi. The comic ends this October. Okay, you've convinced me. I was about to start reading that, and I was hearing interesting things about it. I got really burnt out on the comics. We were reading all of them before, but now that he's actually reading, I've been more inclined to actually buy comic books, because that's really a good way to start somebody reading for fun, Joshua says, does Disney, Lucasfilm, have any plans to re-release Star Wars 4 through 6 theatrical versions? This one has come up every now and then. There's a lot of weird stuff about that. I think that they won't do it while George Lucas is alive. That's my analysis on that. And there is one school of thought that they can't even do it because the original negative was dismantled, cut up into the special edition negative, and that some of the original footage that would go in there isn't there, is been mistreated. But I still think that if they want to do it, they could easily do it just from another print, and they probably do have those things archived. So I don't know what to expect, but I think also George Lucas has Final Cut on his films, and that would really probably mess with that to some degree. And after they didn't take his ideas for the sequel trilogy, he's probably not going to be super all about let's let Disney alter my vision more or show alternate versions of my vision. That's just my take. I don't know if he's that catty, but he's probably not going to feel really too into the concept. I think it would be great though if on Disney Plus you could watch both versions. I would even be fine if it was buried, if it was like in the special features of those ones, so that way most people didn't watch it. But Mark Hamilton says, so any other shows in development? Loads have been rumored. Crimson Dawn, Thrawn and Ezra, Luke and Grogu. I mean, Luke and Grogu would print money for Disney. It seems like a no-brainer. Yeah. So it sucks because like I don't want to get into a fight with somebody. I don't want to, and I don't know if when people report bullshit, if they know it is. Does that make sense? Like sometimes you don't know when your story's wrong, but sometimes people are just making stuff up. But a lot of those things I don't know. I don't think are real. Luke and Grogu would print money, and I think on one hand that's something to keep in your back pocket. That's almost like, if you're gonna, I almost think if you were gonna release a batch of shows, that's the one that you would want to be your surefire hit, right? And then the other ones you can make like Acolyte, the ones that try new things, So Tyler says there are certain leakers who throw crap at the wall. Yeah, that's exactly what it is it's just reductive reasoning. If a character takes off and becomes really popular, then they're going to have a show, right? They're going to do it, right? I mean, like, okay, let me ask you this. If just to put everything into context about what's been asked tonight, where is the Afro show that we heard about so many friggin' times? And now here we are years later. The Afro show should have come out by now. It didn't because it was always fake. And like I said yesterday, can you help? Can you help for once? Can you help for once?
I don't like.
But the Afro show is the best example. Look at anybody who's reported on Afra. Oh, and who was Disney eyeing for Afra? Just eyeing. Like once again, that's the one thing that always makes me laugh. Star Wars is back. So if you want to be a really bad Star Wars blogger, write Star Wars is back. See somebody on TV you're attracted to, and then say Disney is eyeing them for who do you think who you're attracted to would be, who could they play? Oh, okay. So that person is playing Bib Fortuna, whatever, you know what I mean? And that's just like how they said. But Bestman said that Afro was actually that audiobook. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I know for a fact that there were people saying that the Afro show was coming and it was just bullshit. And there's even been times when I've actually reached out to a couple people to go, hey, I asked and that's not true. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like no redaction, no, oh shit, oh man, I messed that up. Nothing like that at all. So Luke is trying to use the Force on you guys. So I would love an Afra show. Yeah, me too, Ben. I'm right there with you. Like Afra is that is a good character to take from comics and expand upon, and it would give legitimacy to the comic books. Yeah. Bestman Bolton rocks it. That's why my favorite. He's an Instagrammer, but podcaster, I guess you'd say. So anyways, Afro can take the best of Indiana Jones and legitimize the comic books. Make it where every time you buy a comic book, you're like, this might be screen-worthy. This might be what's going to lead into the next, show. And I think that if that kind of stuff also elevates the writers, I think it would make the people making those shows be like, I want my comic book to become the next Disney Plus show. I'm gonna really put my back into it. I think we all win with that. Yeah, Bestman's Bob podcast is legit funny listening. Yeah, no, it is. I feel like out of all of the podcasts, they are the ones who legit and not in a copying way, like naturally gravitated towards sort of the way that I felt about podcasting. Like I like polar extremes of podcasting. Like for like this sounds bad when I say it. Like I like Coffee with Kenobi, right? Coffee with Kenobi is very, very analytical. And when I say dry, I don't mean it in a bad way. It's school in the good way. But a lot of them is like school in a bad way too. And there are people who are like, oh, Lucasfilm is listening. Here we are. We are NPR. We are super boring and we love everything. Everything is good. I just saw this part in Star Wars Rebels where Ezra trips on his own feet. And I have to say that my grape high C came out of my nose. I was laughing so hard. And it's just like, oh God, bring a book. But Bestman's Bob podcast is solid. The Bestman and his buds, they get it. They're legitimately funny. Every now and then they'll say something very, very European or something, and I have to look it up, but rarely. and then I feel fancy because to Americans, anybody with an accent's fancy. Hey, I remember when you wrote an article about the status of Battlefront 3. Do you have any updates on that? Dude, I will say, when it comes to video games, it really sucks reporting on them. Because when you report on rumors from video games, everything is always in flux. And a developer who's giving you a scoop will give you what their dream is, not what the actuality is or what it's going to become. And so you're almost always going to be wrong with and my big Star Wars scoop in gaming was on Ragtag. And I rocked that, man. I put that thing, the whole thing is there. All of it's there. And I did a video on here. It's all there. You could get pretty much everything that there was to get from it. And just like nobody cared. You know, and it's like a game's an experience, but that story was so good. But on Battlefront 3, I don't know anything right now about Battlefront 3. I saw that there was some news yesterday came out of E3 about a Star Wars game coming from the people who made the Avatar game. And I kind of like looked into it a little bit. But Star Wars games have burned us so hard. It's hard to get emotionally invested. And as whatever you want to call me, if I have a hard time with it, you know, your average just like internet goer is just like, whatever, let's see what it comes out. But Tyler says my little documentary was actually really well done. Thanks, Tyler. Yeah, that was kind of an experiment because I've never done anything like that. And I did a couple of little experiments in making small little, I don't know if infotainment is the way of putting it, but you know, I wanted I enjoyed making those. I still will probably do some like that. But you could go. You don't if you're done, you can go. I'll call you. I'll call you to hit the button when the time comes. You're just gonna stay? Okay. Dale says I'm all in for Bane. What do you mean, Dale? Do you mean as if it was a TV show or a film, or just all in on everything Bane? Mark Hamilton says, I think Bespin might work in that arena. Just a guess. He's clued into the industry numbers, etc. in gaming. Yeah, I don't know much about him like personally. Just know that he does a good job. At this point, I don't think we'll ever get the Lego Star Wars game. It's lost in hyperspace. All right, Lukey. This is you, man. You want to talk about Lego the Skywalker saga? You have anything you want to say about it? Because I
want it now.
You want it now?
Yes.
Sit up so we can see you.
I want it
now. Yeah, when he's with his mom, he will text me, and he'll be like, "Dad, what's up with? Is that game coming out?" And then we look it up, and it's not coming out, and it keeps getting pushed back. And so I don't know, man. I hope it does. we went to the Legoland opening the other day, and I tried to see if they could glean anything, and they had no idea. They're like, "Oh, we're doing one." So, yeah, that I love those games because when when we're not playing Fortnite, that's one of the games that it is really fun to play with these guys. What are you doing, man? Wait, do that again. This is my son, Bib Fortuna. And this is my little punk rocker, Penny Rebel. Yeah. No. Not a punk rocker? No. Okay. You guys good?
Honey, please get out. No.
So, anyways, the Naboo fighters and speeders were specifically for Mando 3 and not the Book of Boba Fett. That's what I was told. I was told specifically that they were made for season 3 of Mandalorian. I wasn't told it was made for Book of Boba Fett or a different show or anything like that. Now, if they show up in Book of Boba Fett, then there we go. The source that I heard this from, I completely trust and completely what was dead on. Like said, hey, get ready for Slave One. Like I can't wait for you to see it. There it was. You know what I mean? It showed up. So I have no reason to doubt that information. And there is always a chance that Book of Boba Fett was kept secret by being under the budgetary lines of Mandalorian, and the crew had no idea.
I already knew it.
But I don't know about that. So we'll have to see how it pans out. I'm glad though that ship, the N1 Naboo Starfighter. Okay. The N1 Naboo Starfighter is like my favorite, probably my favorite non-X-Wing fighter ship in the whole series.
Shoot.
Did you kick him out?
Yeah.
All right, Penny. So Penny, what are your Star Wars thoughts? You got any Star Wars thoughts? Are you more excited for Mandalorian or Willow? You're too shy?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. But yeah. So, anyways, yeah, you look cool, Penny.
Cool glasses.
Looking good.
My cool glasses.
Yeah.
And my daddy glasses. Look, this for daddy glasses. I can't put it on the daddy.
Hey guys, here I am, radio DJ, Mr. Cool Guy.
You're not Mr. D.
So do they? Okay. So, anyways, yeah. Bane is the imperfect villain for a movie trilogy. Just a man surviving and came upon the Force by chance and not brought in by a Jedi or with. So yeah, that's true. And makes me wonder if Acolyte's going to connect all of those things in a different way than we thought. Like are we going to learn, because Acolyte means apprentice essentially, or devotee kind of apprentice kind of thing, right? And Bane's gone by then, but we did see his ghost, right? In Clone Wars. At least we think it was. I don't know if we ever got it confirmed it was really him, but I like to imagine that it was, and that makes me think that whatever this show is, it's going to connect into those ways and delves into the myth of the Sith. So Penny wants to be on camera in a Star Wars movie. Yeah, dude. But she wouldn't give me the spoilers. She wouldn't. She'd keep it a secret. She don't tell her, but she has a secret crush, and she kept it secret for like 3 days. Then she let me know. So I'm not gonna tell you who it is because I don't burn my sources, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I've been so energized with the Lucasfilm kind of like onslaught, with Indiana Jones filming right now and Willow filming right now and Cassian. And it's like everything that is a Lucasfilm kind of like in that sphere of things. This is like it's coming. No, baby girl. We need a Salacious B. Crumb series. That will be the next scoop from those shady scoopers. Yeah, Salacious B. Crumb. What turns out he eats C-3PO's eye, And when he eats the eye, he becomes cybernetic. And the cybernetic Salacious B. Crumb is then burned and made even more cybernetic. And he goes after Boba Fett in Book of Boba Fett. And he kills him. And then he takes on the costume at the end. So seeing that indie costume brought up unexpected feels, to be honest. Yeah. No, it did. It does. It's like I don't know what I'm like a Lucasfilm baby, is what I call myself. And as a kid, like I was kind of like post Star Wars. I was Return of the Jedi was my childhood Star Wars movie that came out when I was about 4. And as it moved on, you got to like Indiana Jones and Willow and Tucker, A Man in His Dream, which is highly forgettable, I think, probably. Somebody tweeted at me something the other day saying that they started at Lucasfilm, LucasArts, and one of the cars was there. Now all those cars were cardboard cutouts, and they had one in LucasArts. But yeah, have you heard anything more about Luke and Grogu? I haven't, but I will say if they don't get Sebastian Stan making Luke Skywalker and start that Jedi series, they are crazy. That is such an opportunity for them. And we know that guy can act, and we know he looks like Mark Hamill. He has that essence. So it would be a shame if they did not go any further. Because like I love that scene in Mandalorian, but didn't really look that good. You know, I could see past it because I liked the idea, but it's not that. It didn't look that good. When I watched Rogue One last night, though, Tarkin looked way better than I remembered, and Leia looked way worse. Really weird. But I had my best viewing, I think, last night of Rogue One I've ever had. I think I enjoyed watching Rogue One last night more than I ever enjoyed watching it before. It was really weird. And it's really strange how Star Wars could work that way, and how movies could work that way. There was a part where I had like a hard come down on it. Like I was just like, yeah, I'm good. I just felt like none of it. It felt like it was so beside the point when we were trying to figure out what the Skywalker saga is like, what it was going to happen, and all that stuff. And then it just kind of felt by the side. And now that that's all done, I think I'm able to appreciate it more for what it is. So, Star Wars in Game says some people are hacks, and maybe. I mean, track records speak for themselves, I guess. Dewey Williams, can we expect some more of the episode 9 Holy Trinity? I hope so. I mean, that's cool. It's like you never know when you can like let's put it this way. When I hear things, more than not, I can't say anything. And more than not, I can't say anything until I've heard it again. Because when you've heard it twice or more, then you know they're not the only one who knows it. And there hasn't really ever been a real like misinfo campaign on their end. There was one by somebody at a toy company I talked about in the last stream who messed it up too, and it was funny. But what if? Or for instance, on episode 7, homeboy, what was his name? They called him the Vicar, and the Church of the Force guy. They called him the Vicar. Other people didn't call him that. And I believe at one point, had I come out and said the Vicar, that would have outed down where it could have came from. Does that make sense? So sometimes I'm told a lot like heavy stuff, and I'm told I can't report it, so I don't. It's just the way that it goes, and that's how you build, trust that you're not going to burn them, because some people get it, man. Like I said, there's like one leaker who people call a leaker, but they're not. They're just full of shit. And this person asked me for stuff like every day. I finally gave them something when I had just done too much, and I got a phone call from Lucasfilm, and so I was like, hey, here you go. But don't say where it comes from. They go, but they put right where it comes from. I'm just like, there you go. But that's, no, I'm not anybody's sources but my own. I know I just talked about giving somebody something. That's rare. And that was, only when I was getting too much heat from the top brass. But no, I'm nobody's source but my own. And my sources are my sources. If we ever get a Spielberg Star Wars movie, I'd be so happy. Yeah, I always had the secret hope, like when somebody got fired, like how Ron Howard came in, it would be Spielberg, and Spielberg would do one. But I don't think it's gonna happen. And I just don't think he's that guy. That's why with Indiana Jones, I'm not that heartbroken that he's not filming it, that he's not directing it. I should be, but I'm not. Because when I look at his last movies, I just don't care. You know, they just don't really work that well. And that young sense of wonderment and fast paced stuff, it's not where he's at anymore. And I don't know what his West Side Story is going to be. Do I even care? Maybe I'll see it and I'll care. But I'm not going to go see West Side Story at the theater. I'll probably watch it on streaming for a few minutes and just see if I get involved. But are there any live action animated projects that you can't talk about that you're very excited about? That's a tricky question. There are things on the table that they could put out. I'm sorry if this just, I feel like I should have just said I don't know. But there's always things that I hear about that have been pitched or being pitched, and you're like, wow, that would be really cool. But then you never know what's going to happen. And then when stuff does come down, it's almost never like what you heard about, even when it's been real, like it's been like legit stuff. Like Homeboys, what was that one, that Seven Samurai one from Zack Snyder? That one, I didn't hear about that one first. That one broke like in the trades. But as an example, like that's the kind of stuff where you're here, somebody was doing this pitch and you're like, oh, I hope that happens. Oh, the Mr. Robot guy? Yes, please. And I don't think the Mr. Robot guy's stuff ever really got anywhere, or I don't think it ever got went into production, or they made like a deal. But he would have rocked it. But I also kind of feel like where the live action stuff at the moment, it's like it needs to get deeper, but it also has to satiate that action that people want, that action movie kind of stuff that just I could just get right into this. Because like I know a lot of professors who are intelligent people who go watch a Star Wars movie or a Star Wars property, and it's like if it's too involved, if they have to know too much, they have to feel too much like an insider. They just don't want to do it. They don't want it to be deep. They want it just to jump in and jump out like A New Hope. So they always have that fine line. I would love a Ben movie finding his way back to the living, like a Greek Oedipus movie. Yeah, me too. And I personally don't know when that'll happen. I don't think it'll come soon. That's my feeling. But I also don't think that Adam Driver won't be back because he's Adam Driver and he's like the greatest actor of all time. He's a really good actor. But if you could get Harrison Ford back 2 times after he was done, you could get Adam Driver back. And let's see how history treats episode 9. Because I think a lot of people I think my takeaway, even my hope, is that The Last Jedi is viewed as that was the good one. That was the best one. And I feel like it was the best one. But I don't know how episode 9 is going to be treated in the long run. And that could leave them hungry. Like, if Temple of Doom had been really good, who knows if we would have got a third Indiana Jones movie. Temple of Doom is great. You know what I mean? But it didn't come into being the film that they hoped for. It wasn't Raiders quality in their opinion. And I don't think episode 9 hit that stride either. And I think even these kind of things that Abrams is saying whether even though he's not saying it, I think it is him sort of acknowledging like, yeah, it didn't go to plan, or there was no plan. Sometimes he says, but I think in a way it was him saying like, yeah, it could have been better, and that makes me think. I would have said before, Abrams will never come back, but you never know. He might want to one up himself and end it on a higher note. I feel like no one really cares about 9. Yeah, I think 9 didn't really connect in as big of a way as they had wanted. And I don't think it was a failure by anything, but I just don't think it really made truly anybody super happy. Sure, somebody was super happy, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it made anybody really happy. And then you had COVID. And it was really, really rad when they released that movie early. So that way, when we started lockdown, we could watch it. I think that was a wise move. But then when the lockdown was as long as it's been, I think it feels like it was from a different lifetime now. Like the person I was dating when that started, I felt like we went through a 10-year relationship. You know what I mean? And now here we are, kind of almost on the other side, we hope, of it, and it's just like it feels like a different time to me. So Star Wars Santa says, I'm already seeing some younger YouTube channels who are very positive towards the sequels. I think they'll get more popular over time, and kids grow up. Yeah, no, it's true. That happened with the prequel trilogy. Like, I was like right in that, like, in between, where I was like a very small child for Return of the Jedi, but not quite a child for Phantom Menace. I was like 4 years old and then like 18 years old, like in that range, 3 to 18 kind of. And so I always just like saw all of it as being cohesive. The older guys back then, the older fans didn't. And then as we moved on after the Clone Wars, we had all these people who were saying like the prequels. Like, I hear good things about the prequels now, and I'm just like, it's bizarro world. Because I would just say something online like, yeah, Attack of the Clones the acting is weird, but I like the movie. I have fun. Well, what's wrong with you? What? And you're just like, well, what do you want, man? Like, I enjoy it for what it is. Yeah, George Lucas is a weirdo. I have fun. Oh, what's wrong with you? You're lying to yourself. And now today you're like, oh, there's prequel memes out the butt. It never ends. So that's Star Wars. Yeah. Dell says, yes, this is their Star Wars. And it's like, yeah, that's Star Wars. And it is their Star Wars. You're not wrong. And like my kids right now aren't full of nostalgia, but as we move on, in 5 years, they might miss, remember when I was 4 and you took me to see Rise of Skywalker? Because they liked it a lot. I took them to see it several times. And I have a feeling that nostalgia will be their Star Wars too. So Joshua says, I like Star Wars 9, The Rise of Skywalker. The sequel trilogy is a fun, entertaining homage at best. The Star Wars fandom have no idea what they have been given and missed out. Yeah. Like, as a kid, Return of the Jedi came. There wasn't an internet, and I was just like, it's done. It's over. Sucks. They're ever going to make more? Oh, they're going to do prequels someday? Are you sure? You promise? Because you keep saying it, they're not coming out. I remember I went down to the public library, checked out the Art of Return of the Jedi. I read that thing from like start to finish in one day in the summer. When I got to the very back, there was the poster section, and there was Revenge of the Jedi posters. And I don't think it had any explanation. They just expected you to understand that the title changed, or I didn't read it right. I don't remember which now. But I thought Revenge of the Jedi, oh, it's coming. That's the teaser poster for the next movie. And then I was pretty sad to find out as about a year or two went by and it didn't come, that what the real story was. So what's a prequel, laugh out loud? Back then it was so new. Yeah. I mean, back then you had deep cut knowledge if you understood that Temple of Doom took place before Raiders, Like people just, what? No, they come out in this order, and you're like, yeah, but look at the year in the story. I don't know, man. Like people really had a hard time with that. And now, thanks to George Lucas, God, the good thing about the prequels was that we got them, right? He made them. The bad thing was it influenced every superhero movie to be an origin story about becoming, and it was just boring to me. Like I like Batman 89 is my favorite Batman movie. Dark Knight is a great movie, and I like that one probably second. And it's like everybody becoming a superhero is boring to me. Why Batman's a ninja? I don't care. I want to see Batman. I don't care that he's a ninja. I don't care what the explanation is because ninjas sound ridiculous to me too. Christian Bale becoming a ninja is as ridiculous as Christian Bale becoming Batman to me for the most part. And I love them. I love all of those films, just to be clear. But I was just so bored of that. And that was like the one thing about the prequels I hated. Back then, Harry Knowles was the king of spoilers. Yeah, I used to check Ain't It Cool News constantly, like around like 97. And T-Bone Star Wars Universe was probably my favorite because I just like the way he did things for the most part, I think. And kind of a funny story. Me and Randy went to Star Wars Celebration in 1999. Also, much different, just a different world, a different environment. It was all like indie kids and skaters and punks who were, yeah, I like Star Wars. So what? Kind of, yeah, I'm into this. This is my thing. And we went to Toys R Us at midnight to buy the Phantom Menace toys on May 3rd of 1999. And there was T-Bone. And I was like, dude, I read your site all the time. And he was like, hey, you guys want to come with us? We were like, yeah. So we went shopping with them and for, what was it called? Was it called Midnight Madness? I don't know. It was silly. But yeah, so that was weird. But in a weird way, to me, that meeting was kind of where I understood that that was a real person, that people on the internet were real, and that I could do this if I wanted to. And that's why I decided I wanted to try to do it when Star Wars was coming back. So Tibor says, hi, Jason. What would be your most wanted Star Wars thing that's not announced yet? For me, a show set in the times of the Yoda, Dooku, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan line of the Jedi, even if it's animation, it would be interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that would be that's kind of what I said yesterday when somebody has something similar. I was like, I want to see like Sifo-Dyas and Dooku and Qui-Gon, and I want to see the stuff in that Plagueis novel and like how that plays out. And that would be fascinating to me. And I really hope that there's always just a balance though of let's give things depth and create and make new stuff. Like when it's just one or the other, you're never that happy. But when both are constantly kind of coming in tandem, that's when I'm happy. Like Bad Batch for me so far, it's not as good as the Clone Wars. And that's not with rose, tinted glasses looking back at the past. It's not really like as inspired, but at the same time, I am loving the depth that it's giving, the exploration of what happened after the clones, ceased production or how we're going into that territory. And so that stuff right now is really cool. And for the record, I'm way early on saying Bad Batch isn't as good as the Clone Wars because it's just a few episodes have been come out. But right now I'm liking it a lot though. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I inspired anybody, Dewey, to be honest with you. Like I'm not so sure. I kind of feel like when I was in grad school, I had to do some outside disciplines. And I studied neoliberalism and ethnography, which was like I studied cultures and I studied how this political economic doctrine influenced people's ideologies, right? Well, I had to take geography, and it was geography about how people learn and about how drugs move. And it was fascinating stuff. I was a little bit out of my element in it, but there was this thing called the balloon effect, and that I learned in it, and I learned in geography, and it's basically hot. Okay. We'll wrap it up pretty soon. In a black market called the balloon effect. If you push down here, it comes up here. If you push down here, it comes up here. If it's a black market, it's the way it works. And you see that a lot in Star Wars now, in the stories, and but it's also true with information. And basically, the more that they push down on spoilers and try to suppress it, the more they make. But also, what's fascinating about spoilers in that way too is when something isn't very good, they're puppies. No, when something isn't very good, they don't leak that much. When something is when they're really inspired by it, more leaks come. They're way more happy to talk about it. What do you want to say?
Black labs.
What? You gotta speak up, man. You're on YouTube.com, son. This is the future. But anyways, so it was a funny, weird thing to watch you guys recording in person at Celebration 19. Before that, it had only been voices, but it was more real, as you said. Yeah. I remember that lounge we were hanging out in. That was a pretty chill place. Yeah, that was like I had a better time at that one than the one before. The one before was like weird because I was getting recognized and it was uncomfortable and I didn't know what to do. But somebody's just like looking at you like this. You're like, please say hi, or do you hate my guts? Did I tell you have pooper brains on the internet or something? You probably do. But Dark Horizons, yes. Yeah, Dark Horizons. I remember I used to read that site all the time, and then they just were like, I hate Star Wars, not into this isn't for me. And I was like, oh, okay, I won't check you out anymore because you're not going to have any Star Wars stuff anymore. But yeah, Dark Horizons. And believe it or not, Super Shadow at one time did have real stuff. Did start off real and then moved into parody and then spiraled out of control. Almost. The sequel trilogy makes up for the sins of the prequel trilogy via bland acting, poop jokes, underwritten characters, more like extras and inconsistent canon, etc. Yeah, the what's weird about consuming the sequel trilogy constantly and then watching the prequels now is the acting in the prequels that actually didn't bother me. I was like, the acting's bad. I accept it. Now, and after watching seasons of Mandalorian and stuff, it bothers me a lot more. It feels like those are inconsistent. So, but I think we're going to have to wrap the stream up because this guy's getting impatient. It is super hot in here.
And I want to press the button.
And he wants to press the button. So I hope everybody has a really good day. We'll try to do another one of these super soon. Maybe with video, maybe not. Who knows? Because these guys are maniacs. They are. You're a maniac, son. Anyways, yeah, and then I want to thank everybody for showing up for this one and for positive vibes to help this guy get rid of this cough. But thanks everybody, and I hope we can hang out like maybe tomorrow. Who knows?
I want to press it.
Okay, press it. Bye.
Bye.